All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Cha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, Basically, I'm just doing this video real quick. The brother Dexter Catchings had asked, can you please do a video on the difference between Esau and the normal white people? All right, and so, I'm doing a video to explain what the difference between Edomites and so-called, the reason we call them Edomites and we say so-called white people and we say so-called Caucasians, all right, is to clarify, all right, so that you don't think that anybody that looks like they have white skin or they look like a Caucasian is an Edomite, because that's inaccurate. All right, now I'll give you a quick rundown, which I have a picture here to show you. All right, a brother put this in the chat. So let's say you have an Israelite man that looks like this, and this is an Edomite woman. She looks like that. If an Israelite man lays with an Edomite woman, the baby could come out looking like an Edomite, but he is an Israelite because of his father. Now, this Israelite child sleeps with an Edomite woman. Remember, these are two different nations. They just look like they're the same nation. So he's an Israelite by blood, by nationality, but he looks like a white man. So that would not make him an Edomite. That would just make him an Israelite that looks like an Edomite. All right. Now, if he slept with another Edomite and they had a child and that child came out looking like this guy, he's still an Israelite. He just looks like an Edomite. He looks like a Caucasian. Right. And they have a child and the child looks like this. This child is an Israelite. Though this child looks white, he looks so-called Caucasian, he is still an Israelite. So we don't just go out there and say all white people are the devil or all white people are going in slavery, because that would be inaccurate. Because if you base it on that, you would condemn this man to slavery or say that he's the devil when he's not. He's actually an Israelite. Just because he looks like he's so-called white because of the curses, you'd assume that he is. That's why we don't go based on looks. We go based on the spirit. Now, predominantly, this is the look of a typical average Edomite. So when we speak generally, all right, that's why we say so-called white, because they're not really white. The background is white. She's not white. All right. And we say so-called Caucasian because they're not actually Caucasians. All right. Their true nationality are Edomites. Okay, that's why we say that. Now, on the right side, you see the reverse. You have an Edomite, all right, by nationality, and he sleeps with an Israelite woman. And then the same thing happens. He sleeps with an Israelite woman, and the baby comes out looking like this. Okay. Now, that baby who's an Edomite sleeps with another Israelite woman, and that baby comes out looking like this because of the phenotype from the mother. Okay. So his appearance looks like an Israelite, but his nationality, his genealogy, all right, is that of an Edomite, because according to the Bible, you track your lineage through your father, because he carries the seed. His seed put into her comes out. That seed grows into this guy. He puts his seed into her. That seed grows into him. You see? And they sleep and they have a baby that looks like this. And you think, oh, just because he looks like he's so-called black or whatever, he's an Israelite. Incorrect. All right, that's not how it works. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown of it. Now I'm gonna tie a couple scriptures to it. Okay, Lord, I can edify on that. So, asking the question, the difference between Esau and normal white people is that Edomites, by blood, by nationality, all right, though they may look white or look black or look Chinese, by blood, if they go back, their lineage goes back to Esau, Edom, then they're an Edomite. And you can test that by their spirit. You know, how they move, how they act. Because Eminem, for example, Eminem would be a case like this right here. Eminem looks like he's white, but he's an Israelite because of how he vibes, how he moves. Okay, Israelites don't move like Edomites. We have salt, we have flavor. You know, we don't, you can tell through the spirit. Okay, now going back here, because one of the curses, which I have it here, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee. Now this thee is talking about the children of Israel. So the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. All right, something is scattered. Let's look up the word scatter. Okay. It says to scatter, to be dispersed. Okay, dispersed, to overflow, to scatter. So we're thrown and mixed in, all right, amongst all people, from one end of the earth even to the other. So from the east to the west to the north to the south, the Lord has like sprinkled us among everybody. So let's say among the nation of Edom, like let's say there's an area where Edomites predominantly dwell, and the Lord throws in a couple of Israelites to live there. Those Israelites, the women that are there are going to be Edomite women. So those Israelites that are thrown in that area are going to sleep with those women, and then you're going to have a case like this. All right? And the same thing happened with every other nation. So replace this woman with a Chinese looking woman. The same thing will happen. The baby looks Chinese, but he's really an Israelite. All right? That's the confusion of faces. That's like, you may look like another nation, but you're really an Israelite. So we got to be real careful. That's why we don't just condemn somebody or, prejudge them based on what they look like. Skin color, yes, it's a general factor, but it's not what decides whether you're an Israelite or what nation you're from. Okay, because of all these inter mixing, you could say. All right, but in the ancient world, people usually stuck to their nation, so it wasn't as messy as it is now. But this was a curse. So the Lord said, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. So you might have an Israelite who gets thrown into an Edomite community. He lives there for a while. His grandchildren come out looking like they're Edomites. They come out looking white. But by blood, by nationality, they are Israelites. But they're raised to be Catholic or Baptist or whatever. And so they try to live like an Edomite because that's who they think they are. But in their spirit, their lineage goes back to an Israelite. All right. So that's the difference between an Edomite and a regular white person. Okay. The regular white person, there's a possibility that he is an Israelite that just looks like that. All right. And an Edomite, he's just for sure an Edomite. All right. So that's just the difference between the two. Okay. It says, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay. Next precept. This is Genesis chapter 36, verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, right? And the Canaanites were dark-skinned people. Okay. So being that Esau um, looked like this, he went to try and sleep with women that look like this or darker so that their children can look like this. So even today, you have people that look like this that are not Israelites, because a typical Israelite might look like this, but you have Edomites that look like that are not Israelites. So it's the same thing. There's a difference between an Israelite and a black person. You see, because somebody could look like they're black, but their lineage could go back to a Chinese person or a white person, so called that is. All right. Um, So it says Adad, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Ziboan the Hivite. All right, last precept. This is Matthew 28 and 19. This is why the Lord said, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." All right. This doesn't mean go and teach Chinese people, but go and teach the people in China because some of them are Israelites that look like they're Chinese. So it doesn't matter. Just go there and teach them. And those that are Israelites that are amongst them, those that were scattered there, those that are of the elect, they will come out. You can draw them out of the population. Okay. So being that you have Israelites scattered everywhere, you have to go everywhere to fish them out. All right. Baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Okay. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Okay. So to answer your question, all right, brother, hopefully you understand, all right, that the so-called white person, all right, the Caucasian, just because they look Caucasian does not mean they're an Edomite. Okay. An Edomite is somebody his lineage goes back to the man Esau Edom. Okay. And an Israelite is somebody whose lineage goes back to the man named Israel. And a Moabite is somebody whose lineage goes back to a man named Moab, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, through process of time, you have certain people whose lineage goes back to the man named Israel that makes them Israelites. But somewhere along the lines, their forefather slept with a woman who is an Edomite, and therefore that child looks like a white person, but his lineage does not go back to Esau. So you can have white people whose line does not go back to Esau, and actually they are Israelites. They just look like they look like they go back to Esau. Okay, so hopefully that that explains and edifies and answers your question. Okay. So with that, just a quick edification. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.